Learn to be super successful. Subscribe to my channel, meathead. I mean, it's rough out there. Where's Brandon? Right here. Did you go to sleep? No. Okay. Drive by Brandon. I mean, he and I were trading stories because our daughter lives there and we're worried about her. And he validated almost everything we said about how fucking ugly it is there. And our daughter's living in a fucking dream world. You know? She won't carry a fucking gun. Liberal land. Her area, which is upper middle class, whatever, rich, but you drive 300 meters, drive-bys. You drive 500 meters the other way, kill people in the street.
Brandon wants to tell you how his black sweat off this whole time. Tell him, Brandon, your story.
Oh, I didn't know how to turn the heat off, so I woke up your complexion.
He wouldn't open the window because he was afraid.
Well,
I said, why didn't you open the window? You have to turn off the knob at the bottom of the thing.
yeah, well, I understand that, but our daughters live in a fucking dream world. And when we say we'll have a couple of security guys with you, Kelly, no, I don't need that. It doesn't look right. Just like they were ashamed to go to school in the limousine, Daddy, if I show up to work with security guys, I mean, you know.
What's an age target for a chairman? 55, 65?
Depends on what they've accomplished. You know, if they got a big track record. No, 55 to 70. 55 to 70. But they're out there. They're fucking out there. They're relatively hungry. And God bless them. I think it's great that they're, trying to get a secondary or tertiary income. And we have chairmen that have been with AT&T and all these big companies for 25, 35, 45 years. And the pension scheme that they have that was set up 40 years ago can't support them now when they're 70, 65, 70 years old. They didn't do it on purpose. Shit happens. Cost of living, etc.
You killed Kyle. He's fucking... You can't take it anymore.
So the etiquette in terms of dress, is that information in the drive?
Yes. I mean, even though I get nothing for 3-piece Brooks Brothers suits, the best place to get the most bang for your buck for $1 is Brooks Brothers. And that's how I started. When I bought a 3-piece suit 40 years ago from Brooks Brothers, it was $198. Okay. And if you wanted the cuffs and shit, tailored, it was an extra $20. And now my suits cost, 15, 20 grand. And a few of you, not you in this room, use my tailors, not the least of which is Brian Rose, who I'm not bragging about. But I mean, it's easier to fool them how you look, because eventually you can open your fucking mouth. And most people in this room fail as soon as you open your mouth.
Do you go to Savile Row?
Yeah. My tailor made clothes for, the king, still does, the queen. He used to make all the riding clothes, and it was cute. He used to tell stories after he got the war warrant from the queen, that she said that I don't want my panty line. You know how panties show in pants? So she would crawl on the ground like this, and she would ask my tailor, can you see my panty line at Buckingham Palace? So how do you tell the queen if the panty line after 4 fittings still shows? With great difficulty, And but the clothes Sally has, the tailor currently, Princess died before, the current queen, King Charles, makes Sally's is one of the tailors that makes Sally's clothes. And but I mean, we can afford it. But we didn't have the king making our clothes, or excuse me, the king and the queen's tailors making our clothes before we could afford it. But I mean, you're so far away from that. I mean, you can't visualize that. And We're a 3 Rolls-Royce family, and one of the few 3 Rolls-Royce families that's not in the Middle East. But, we don't think about it. When our kids come home, our daughter's going to come home in a couple of weeks. She looks at this. This is just the house. It's nothing special. That Napoleon chandelier that's worth about $1.5 million. Nobody cares. The cars, And that's what the different end, the end of the continuum, we haven't experienced yet. And it's pretty fun, yes, sir.
So as we are going through our last night and we're all asking our questions one by one, first of all, I want to remind myself and everybody else how special the event is. I mean,
Thank you.
it's going to take the whole universe every 1,000 years or 2,000 years to create someone like you who, I don't know when the next Dan Peña come to Earth, but it's just so special for me. I don't know about everybody. I can talk for myself that it's just unique in whole. You talk about galaxy, cosmos of time that creates somebody like you, and care about making poor rich. You kidding me? You care to make us rich, and we talked. 101 about God, and I'm non-believer, and I said there is no God, and I can just worship the God that I can see can create. You're creating us. You're creating people from nothing, making us somebody. There is no God. You are a God. You are a God.
When
I worship you for the rest of my life.
When I can take meatheads like Roberto, 70 million, 7 months. He's not my best deal, but he'll talk to you. And that's exactly, more or less, plus or minus, what the Catholic Church says about me. I'm not selling the church here, but I am. But I don't give up on you unless you give up on yourself. Most of the people in this room, I'm sad to say, to be absolutely 100% honest, you're going to give up. That's what my data shows me. But you don't have to give up. And even though I don't want you to be a 12 or 13-year success story, maybe a few of you are going to be at the end of the continuum. And somebody's going to be the pig fucker. Nobody in this room wants to be the pig fucker. Okay, but it's possible, and he has no refinement, no education, no nothing, and his office is his toilet. And
How much is he worth?
now I don't know, but those first few deals he's got were 25 or 40 million. Those first few deals after 26 days. But
He's the record holder.
26 days.
Do you have to have, what is the requirements for 26 days?
No, a deal. His deal happened to be 12 million pounds, as you heard, which is about 15 million. Pardon?
Purchase price was 12 million?
12 million pounds. 12 million pounds. And he became, out of the deal, seller finance, he became worth about 2.5, 3 million pounds to his account.
Immediately.
Boom! Bond closed.
Wasn't liquid though, right?
Pardon?
Just on paper.
He did liquidate it. Unlike Pompadour up here, although he was starving to death, he pulled no money out.
It was all owner finance?
Yeah,
No cash in?
no cash,
No debt?
no debt. They call it debt up here. I'm not sure why, but no debt.
Who didn't take out a line of credit to pay the board?
No, he didn't. He said, "Fuck everybody." Now,
He did it on his own without a board?
yeah, no. He had a board. He's got a powerful chairman who lives about 7 miles from here.
And he did that. He got him on the deal pre-close.
Correct. No, he got him on the deal before he got the accountants, the lawyers, and he warmed up the banks. And the particular board chairman he has, who I knew indirectly, You know, when you say Lord Shitbag is he's a lord in the House of Lords. Lord Shitbag is your chairman. You know, which you can do too. He got the Ben Carson equivalent of a Lord Shitbag here, and everybody just falls down.
I thought you said there was no debt.
There isn't any debt. Seller finance.
It was okay, but you said he warmed up the banks.
He did. You should have 5, 10, 15, just in case.
In case you have to.
Correct.
What happens if you want to buy whorehouses?
You don't want to buy whorehouses. The mafia. They'll fucking kill
Lots
you.
of cash flow.
But in whorehouses, there's a lot of due diligence, hands-on due diligence. And when we rolled up in Nevada whorehouses and in Austria and Germany, I went and actually did some due diligence for the guy.
So you don't say don't do whorehouses. You just say it's a lot of work.
It's a lot of work. And the madams are tough. They've heard your bullshit before.
I lived with a madam.
God bless you.
I fucking learned the game.
Okay. So why have you forgotten it?
Shit, I had it when I was selling fucking weed at 12.
Is that what rotted your brain?
It's the gateway to stupidity. Jeff Fields proved it.
I'm not done yet.
No, you shouldn't be. You're a young guy. Everybody in here is young. Now, a couple of you that are 55, you don't think you're young. That's not my problem. That's
Hey,
you.
I want to hear about doing
55 's
business in Romania, because that's next to Moldova.
Yeah,
Is it recommended the chairman be retired?
they can be. But they have to be at least a little focused in the beginning with you. You.
Hey, why not do business in Ukraine?
It's hard. I mean, number one, you should be there. Number two, most of you guys in this room couldn't deal with the Ukrainians because they're very much like the Russians, and they play hardball. And not many of you are equipped to play hardball. You may talk bullshit. Well, you may talk bullshit, but you know when.
Know shit. He talks shit. They don't know shit.
Well, here
You ain't
go.
been
You're
there.
the guy sitting next to you.
Which one?
Kidnap your kids.
Yes.
Kat, are we still in touch with Ukraine? Because the military contacted us, and because I want to see combat, if we bought tanks and planes and shit like that, I could get all the trigger time I want. And then they go missing, and they don't answer emails for a while, right, Kat? And then and so from war to war, I'm contacted. Do you want to get involved?
Why not him?
What?
Kill him.
Yeah, he's getting
No,
roasted.
but I,
Put him up with the stick.
guy,
Get on, boys.
only a kid.
Within distance is
Hand me
getting
the
fucked.
boxing gloves. I'm
Plucking
going
your
back.
goddamn eyeballs.
Put me in
Yeah.
the ring.
Now, of all your knives, I'm the one that has a real one. Occasionally when one of you gets tough, I have no. Yeah, exactly. I have no bother of cracking your head open. We had a guy maybe 6, 7 years ago who was a 4 or 5 time convicted felon, and we had a guy that he just inherited 3 Volvo dealerships in England, and the guy was quiet, like a monk, didn't bother anybody. But tonight, I go to sleep, and this guy, I hear that you're a black belt, this and that, and this guy had been in prison and done some ugly things. And the guy with the 3 Volvo dealerships, who was a real cunt, pussy, rich kid, finally got to this guy's level. And he said, the guy said, well, let's go outside and we'll settle this. But instead, the kid took a swing at him right about there. I wasn't here, and took another swing at him, tried to kick him. And he looked around. And so finally, then he broke his jaw, knocked him through some furniture, which they paid for. They paid for, but the guy was just minding his own fucking business. And just because your daddy gave you 3 Volvo dealerships, and you're rich at 28,
5 times, dude.
Yeah. I mean, it fucked him up. And I mean, I wasn't here. But I mean, guys, there are guys out there. There's always somebody tougher. There's always somebody tougher. And even though you may have had some luck or whatever, serendipity, and beating people up in your lifetime, but there's somebody, and if they're not tougher with their hands, they're tougher with a knife, a gun, or whatever the fuck. And they multiply that times 1,000 in business. I mean, there's people out there that have been fucking neophytes for practice for decades. For fucking decades. And you don't have a chance. And so, in theory, not always, immediately, you're bored, you're chairman, etc. Those 300 or 350 years experience. Now, I don't want to be chairman anymore, but when I'm chairman, I see this 1,000 miles away. So I steer you in not an opposite direction, but at least confrontational objective, even though I like confrontation. But normally in confrontation, somebody gets hurt. Financially, emotionally, and sometimes physically. And, there's a lot easier ways to make money. You don't have to get hurt. But sometimes, you need to step up and, say that you're a man or a gal. But this model is not based on that. This model is you're dealing with motivated sellers that are on their knees, spitting up blood, just had a stroke. But you're their succession plan. You're their fucking savior. And as long as you keep that in the back of your mind, you can continue to make $1 jillion or £1 jillion or $1 jillion, whatever the currency is. And I'm still doing it after 50 years. The unfortunate part is now I'm doing it through you vicariously, because most of you will forget. Even the smartest will not retain but 20 or 30% of what you learned here, unless you inundate yourself with the knowledge. You've heard various people, including Raymond, who still listen to the shit daily. Correct.
Each time you read your book, I learn and you listen.
Correct.
Just repetition.
Yeah.
Do you have copies of your book here we can buy?
The hard copies, yes.